Hello, dear friends. Never worry about who will be offended if you tell the truth. Worry about who will be deceived if you don't. Opinion piece. The tide is shifting. Everything must be done legally. A crazy but interesting moment. People start asking questions. Russian church issues apocalyptic warning. Everything is on the right track despite appearances. Let's start. A tide is a wind blowing in river basins or ravines, or a periodic and alternating up and down movement of the waters of the sea produced by the traction of the sun or the moon. A tidal change means a transition, a transformation, a change of course, a turn of events, a change of trend, and a change of mind. The tide is turning according to John Sabin. We have McCarthy tied up, as well as patriots in Congress sitting at the head of committees that are extremely pivotal in this fight. Everything must be done legally. Who is McCarthy? It looks like the White Hats dominated him to play ball. What secrets do they know about him? The fate of this planet is now being decided according to Saratoga Ocean. According to the Storm Rider, everything is on track, and everything is on track despite appearances, with operation being played out on all the chessboards and with military intelligence being way ahead of the game to set the stage. We have seen a film all along with actors infiltrating the stage of collapse to collapse the dark side. It's all an exhibition, a show to wake up the population. Repairs will be made beyond our most fantastic dreams, bearing in mind that there will be no gifts and no manna raining from the heaven, but a restoration of all that was stolen from generations ago, to keep us in financial agony, because the demons keep meticulous records of their actions. Misunderstanding. Charlie Watt said 2024 for currency revaluation. He could be referring to the move to parity possibly lasting until 2024. I always assumed that would take a while to happen after the revaluation. First they have to revalue the currencies, and then they would all move to parity. Your comments could also have been taken out of context. The house of cards is crumbling fast, and there is no way it can last until 2024. It may be that Charlie's announcement was just a distraction of something to take the black hats in a different direction, but who knows how many people have suffered for that information. I wish Charlie would follow that up with facts, and not just the way his heart feels. His words are very important, and perhaps very dangerous. People's personal bank accounts have not been affected, as they had already been reflected in the new digital quantum financial system that is run, not through banks, but from the quantum computers of the new Starlight satellite system. Secret plot. Don't doubt for a second that there is a group of beings who are conspiring. It is all part of the effort to reduce the overpopulation that they claim is plaguing the planet. That is a fallacy. According to David Icke, many living things are beginning to question how the hell we got into this mess to begin with. Politics has become more divisive than ever, but there is a lack of empathy and support from the population because the cost of living crisis has hit them hard. The important questions are: why are these things happening? Who is responsible? And when we will see some light at the end of the tunnel. Updated report. Situation update by Mike Adams. The globalists want to replace humans with artificial intelligence systems. They see living humans as obsolete and disposable. John Kerry claims the ED mission is to save the Earth from humankind. Food, energy and financial infrastructure takedowns are part of an attempt to destroy civilization. 9 attacks on energy infrastructure since November, according to Mary Hawthorne. We are not the first advanced civilization to be destroyed on planet Earth. Crypto company Genesis prepares for bankruptcy due to FTX contagion. Al Gore launches a campaign that talks of boiling oceans and rain bombs. Canada executes organ harvesting plan through euthanasia push. The San Francisco panel demands millions in reparations payments for all blacks. Suddenly, everyone in San Francisco will identify as black with a black face. Power generators. Nikola Tesla would laugh at wind turbines because he was thinking of something much better. Free energy technology has been around for at least 100 years, but has been suppressed until now. I don't think this suppression will last much longer. Difference between matrix and holographic reality. Matrix reality is a simulation that is encoded and controlled by a singular point source. A holographic reality is a construct that is developed in the moment using humankind's consciousness, and each particle of information has the full content of the entire holographic experience. There is a big difference between the two. In one, we are slaves to a system, and the other, we are co-creators of a massive collective expression. Opinions. Operations Disclosure by Mark Bachman. As we move through this year, several changes will begin to take place. As these things begin to formulate, there will be more and more who will not say nothing is happening. They will no longer be able to say that because there are many things happening and they are going to continue to happen. You are going to see the changes. They are going to try this. They are going to try something else, and then something else and something else. This is what they do, but their system is crumbling all over the place, little by little, piece by piece. And those who, again, have eyes to see, can see what is happening. They can see that, in fact, so much is happening. And those who are saying that nothing is happening, they are going to be in what is called a rude awakening, for it will come as a tidal wave, as the changes begin to gain momentum more and more, and you are going to witness a changing of the guard. It is you who are here to save yourselves, to bring freedom and sovereignty once again. Dalbun's opinion. We are still waiting for things to happen and for the EBS systems to inform everyone. However, I read somewhere that we wouldn't have EBS as chaos may arise due to the masses not knowing anything. Things seem to be not ready in the background, and there may be only 10 to 25% of the people who really know what is going on. The way the White Hats could get the information out would be through the current media. If it were done correctly, and the journalists want to keep their jobs, the discourse would be given with the White Hats agenda. If they don't, then the EBS could come out electronically. It could come as a flood, but first there is a drizzle that soaks the ground, then a normal rain with light currents, and then the downpour with raging waters. Once people receive the information, it will spread around the world, and once people realize that there is a new currency available, then people will start asking questions and spreading the word. Obstacles. According to Benjamin Fulford, a new M1, or head of the Committee of 300 and controller of the world financial system, has been selected. M1 simply stands for Monetary One, or the global underwriting of the World Bank. Monetary one is simply a legal signatory to all other debts. You can't sign the country's debt in the air, so it has to end up somewhere with someone. The new M1 says the main obstacle to a jubilee and the establishment of a meritocratic future planning agency is a deadlock coming from the fifth column within MI6. As M1 points out, there is a repository buried in some mountain near Zug in Switzerland, with no doubt a file on anyone, anywhere, in any position of power. The only way out of this impasse is to announce a jubilee and a truth and reconciliation process followed by a general amnesty. However, it is probably too late for an amnesty for serious crimes. It is also too late to try to save the current financial system with reforms. Republicans in the House of Representatives plan to eliminate the income tax and replace it with the national consumption tax. In any case, talking about tax reform is like rearranging the deck chairs on the deck of the Titanic because the corporation has been running on steam for years. The situation is urgent because unless the West supports the new M1, the Russians, Chinese, BRICS, etc. will take over with or without Western cooperation. There is also a very real possibility of a general revolt against the lineage ruling class in the West. The ongoing economic meltdown and the consequences of the crisis make a French Revolution increasingly likely. Cardinals inside the Vatican are preparing for the dismissal of the 33rd degree Freemasons, including the Jesuit Pope. A major fire recently destroyed the Masonic Center in southwest Sydney. Economic collapse in Western countries will lead to more unrest unless the new system is initiated as soon as possible. Hyperinflation, rising interest rates, and collapsing markets are happening simultaneously. The housing bubble is so large that only a complete restart of the financial system could solve it. Real wages are falling very rapidly. The huge increase in crime is also causing a general collapse of the social order. The situation has reached the point where even food in supermarkets has to be locked up. White Dragon Society sources in Laos say that the non-Western world has begun building a new United Nations headquarters there and will proceed to establish its own international architecture. They are also preparing their own international financial system. Transnational corporations even treat presidents as mere figureheads who can be silenced. A press release from the National Geographic Survey shows an earthquake with an epicenter with a depth of 0.6 kilometers, which apparently means that there was some kind of explosion in space over Silicon Valley. Europe. Hungary blocks another European Union budget to fund military aid to Ukraine. Berlin is not part of the conflict in Ukraine, says Germany's new defense chief. Europe faces unprecedented crisis over Ukraine conflict, says Macron. Clashes erupt at demonstration against pension reform in Paris. In Poland, elderly people are forced to steal food from shops to survive. Polish military units revolted last week and disobeyed government orders to go on fight in Ukraine. In Hungary, 97% of citizens who took part in national consultations spoke out against European sanctions against Russia. Russian Orthodox Church issues apocalyptic warning. Any attempt to destroy Russia could spell disaster for the whole world. The head of the Russian Orthodox Church, Patriarch Kirill, warned on Thursday. Some madmen believe Russia could be defeated, but this could trigger the end of the world, Patriarch Kirill has said. Priest has near-death experience and experiences hell. Priest Gerald Johnson of Michigan claimed to have visited hell after suffering a heart attack and said the experience changed his life forever. "I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy," he said. The US reaches the $31.4 trillion debt ceiling, prompting the Treasury to take extraordinary measures to continue paying the federal government's bills. It has decided to suspend contributions and investment refunds for retirement and disability funds, as well as workers' health care. Lawmakers must overcome the deep political divide in Congress to negotiate a solution and avoid potentially catastrophic consequences for the economy. Debt ceiling stalemate by Michael Washburn. The dramatic standoff between the Biden administration and the new Republican majority in the House of Representatives over the federal debt ceiling is the latest manifestation of an unsustainable fiscal model in which the government indulges in discretionary and mandatory spending far beyond its means. If the two parties reach a compromise and avoid defaulting on debt payments, it will be a temporary stalling action rather than a solution to an escalating crisis. The real estate market is collapsing faster than in 2008. Wave of bankruptcies and layoffs during the early stages of 2023, according to Michael Snyder. Nikki Haley will challenge Trump for the 2024 presidential nomination. Americas. Thousands of Peruvians arrive in Lima to protest against Boluarte. Argentina buys back $1 billion in debt to stabilize its currency. Venezuela, Brazil, Mexico, Argentina, Bolivia, and Peru are the American countries with the largest gold reserves, but Uruguay, Chile, Dominican Republic, and Honduras are the countries with the smallest reserves. The Brazilian government sacks and replaces more than 40 senior police officers. The Chilean Congress initiates an impeachment trial against Boric's right-hand man, Giorgio Jackson. The United Workers Front of Ecuador mobilizes against the referendum. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.